All right, big introduction. Once again, Paulie's learned to play a new instrument here. Our drum roll.
Very authentic.
Former Notre Dame quarterback, Fox College football analyst, Big Noon Kickoff, and he's one of the hosts with Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. Let's bring in Brady Quinn, who joins us on the program. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
We got to say hi to everyone.
We thought that it was going to be. We thought we were going short sleeve today to show us the guns and to send a message to Will Ferrell because, as you have brought to our attention before, when you played for Notre Dame, Will Ferrell would be yelling at you.
Okay, I think this is what we need to do to get to the bottom of this.
Okay. Right.
Here's what I'm thinking. Because
I don't at the Coliseum?
At the Coliseum, of course. You weren't coming to South Bend.
Well, Have you been? I've been a couple times.
Okay, you've been. All right. Well, you
not on the field.
Okay. Well, yeah. In this case, you were definitely on the field, or at least I thought it was you.
Yeah.
If you could humor me, all right, and just say, "Hey, number 10, your pants are too high." If you could just say that.
That's probably something I would have said.
That sounds like you.
Yeah.
Hey, number 10, your pants are too high.
Yeah, that's him. It was him. I know it's been a long time. That was definitely you.
Wait, that's your trash talking?
Yeah, I don't go for like your mama. I don't do anything like that.
Can I be honest though?
Yeah,
I literally looked at my backup and I was like, "Is that Will Ferrell?" I was like, "Are my pants too high?" And I was like, I know I have long legs, but I mean, jeez. And then I don't know. I was probably all I was thinking about for the next 5 minutes. I mean, it was definitely a great tactic.
Hey, number 10, you run awkwardly.
There it is.
That's the style of
Okay, wow. Yeah, that's penetrating.
Yeah.
I mean, that hurts.
But you heard it.
I heard it. And I think the next week I probably was sagging a little bit in my pants, or I did something to alter my uniform, all because of Will Ferrell.
I know I used to scream at the mascot, whoever the leprechaun.
The leprechaun.
Yeah. Because I would say leprechaun.
Well, he's
leprechaun. Leprechaun.
He needs a reason to be angry, right?
And I'd say, "F you."
Okay. Did USC recruit you?
No. So USC, Miami, Florida State were probably the three schools that did not recruit me. Pretty much everyone else.
Okay. And if USC had recruited you?
Oh, I was such a baby, such a mama's boy and all that. I took a trip to Colorado, and that was back when Gary Barnett was there. So they were starting to kind of get things going. And he gives me a book. The book is about his success that he had at Northwestern. So I start reading back. It's a long flight back from Denver to Ohio. And I get like 40 pages in. And it was actually a letter of hate mail. Someone bought the book, sent it to him, and was saying all this stuff, how he was a fraud, he was this and that. And I was like, man, this is like, must be an omen. And I had family at that point in time. I still have family in Colorado. So it wouldn't have been that big of an adjustment. But my parents couldn't come watch me play. It wasn't as nationally televised as it is today.
Why didn't you go to Ohio State since you were from Ohio?
It was tough growing up Columbus, honestly, having it be like right there in your backyard. But I felt like Notre Dame was just a better fit for me. I loved Ty Willingham. That was who I went to go play for. He ran a version of the West Coast offense from his time with Denny Green with the Minnesota Vikings. That appealed to me. And I think the one thing that kept lingering in the back of my head, because I was also, at that age, I was a big Tom Brady fan. So Michigan was in the mix. And I always thought to myself, man, look at the lineage of quarterbacks that went to the NFL from Notre Dame and Michigan. And at that point, if you had pointed someone at Ohio State, you would have said, Art Schlichter?
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably the best then, but it had been a while, and I wanted to go to a place where I feel like it prepared me for everything. Academically, athletically, and that way if I had a shot to go pro, that was the best place to do it. And it was just the best fit for me.
Should Reggie Bush get his Heisman Trophy back?
Oh, man, what a loaded question. So I'll say this. Reggie was the best college football player that I've ever seen, at least in my time. There was never a time when you thought he wasn't going to score a touchdown. And what gets complicated about it is kind of what you brought up, where we're in a world now where, especially young people, they don't care. They don't care if he accepted something back then because they look at NIL and they say, well, it's allowed now. The problem is how you go about doing it now is different than what was happening back then. That being said, I mean, I think the way we've penalized not only Reggie, but even USC afterwards is what always strikes me as like,
thank you.
Something happens.
Thank you.
And then you penalize the people after him. Like he doesn't face any consequences. So look, I've always championed for him to be able to get it back. As hard as that is for me to admit, a Southern Cal guy and all that, he was the greatest college football player that I'd seen. So rightfully so. And Marv, I think you just brought it up, right? Like you did not see that. Like, trust me, I witnessed everything that happened when we were playing against them in that heyday. So you can't unsee it. But at the same time, there's still a line that was crossed. And it's interesting, this whole defamation lawsuit. I would make the case like him not having his Heisman has actually given him more fame. I mean, it's because kids now, like when we go out on college campuses, and Leinart has got a great TikTok or Instagram where he's walking around USC and like no one even recognizes him. And it's because you kind of forget, like everyone's moved on and they didn't see us play. But you then see like fans who are like, hey man, we need to give Richie his Heisman back. Like you see it everywhere you go. I mean, it's literally followed him and you forget the dude's won a Super Bowl. Like he's had other accomplishments.
He got to date a Kardashian.
I was just saying, he might be a bigger reality TV star known for Kim Kardashian, that relationship. And so it's crazy though, because it's actually continued to follow him. I don't know. I think you got to keep milking it. He had a Wendy's commercial off of it too. True. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's not such a bad thing right now.
I think Pete Rose has benefited from not being in the Baseball Hall of Fame because he's still in the news. He's still relevant. Right. If not, he'd be just a Hall of Famer, sign an autograph somewhere, and no one would really care. People champion Pete's cause. Hey, now you can gamble on baseball. Why can't Pete get back into baseball?
Yeah.
And I said, no, it doesn't work that way.
I want to know where the Heisman's at. That's what I want to know.
No, we got it back.
Oh, you got it back?
Yeah.
So you did get it back.
Yeah.
See, all I was paying attention to was the San Diego Sports Hall of Fame or whatever that was. And
Hall of Champions.
Hall of Champions. Excuse me.
Hall of Champions. No, Paulie had somebody who reached out to him and said, I have the Heisman here.
They had it?
Yeah.
Huh.
And
here's all I know is Leinart was in his closet. We asked him one time like where it was. He told us it was like under some clothes in the back of his closet somewhere.
Well, Carson Palmer had his out in the garage.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he could send it to me, and he did. So we had his Heisman for 6-8 months. Because he said, what do you do with it?
I don't know. I don't have one, so I wouldn't know. My awards are at my mom's house. So
but you finished, fourth in the Heisman?
Third and fourth.
Third and fourth.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
It's always fun to be there.
But the Bush push, you can do that now.
Couldn't do it back then. Yeah.
But if that ball doesn't go out of bounds on third down, right?
Well, the clock should have kept running, and they did get a favorable spot.
But that's at Notre Dame, so
Yeah, but we always had the opposing teams back then. We had their officials, right? Because we're independent, so we don't have our officials. So I believe it was a Pac-12 officiating crew.
Give me the scenario where Notre Dame would join a conference.
Oh, that's a good question. I would say the scenario I think it would be twofold. It'd be one in which it'd be too hard to pass up what you would be compensated by joining a conference, probably through a broadcast TV media rights deal, coupled with the fact that everyone that you're trying to schedule is pretty much in that conference, right? So if you think about the traditional opponents, you're always going to have your West Coast trip, either Stanford, USC. Back when I was playing, we always had our Michigan State, Purdue. We had those Big Ten schools. If all of a sudden you're looking at a world where we live in college football where there's maybe only 4 Power 4 conferences, autonomous conferences, or 2 in this case, you might be saying to yourself, well, what's holding them back from just joining at that point? Especially if it's in order for them to be able to stay competitive, you're making this big TV rights media deal as well, and you can't get that staying independent. I think it's those two things where you really can't turn to create a schedule that doesn't make sense.
But I'm wondering if, these conferences say you're only playing the schools in the conference, therefore you take away Notre Dame's schedule from them. So then they're going to be playing Army and Air Force, Navy,
right?
Maybe some ACC schools, but the Big Ten.
They could do that. And obviously you would have to create a scenario where you have so many conference games that you're eliminating non-conference games, right?
Yeah.
Because what I always advertise to people and people who want to challenge Notre Dame to join a conference, I say, we're your best non-conference game.
Yeah.
We are who you use to justify, win or lose, why you should get into the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So why do you want us to join a conference? Like, you're welcome. College football, you're welcome.
Yes, Will. Yes, Will.
I think Notre Dame, bold move here, joins the Pac-12.
Okay.
Right?
That's
Conference of Champions.
Very.
Which is now about the Pac-7? Seven and a half?
4.
I think it's 4.
It's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Who would be the partner? You didn't even numbers, so you have to have one more.
SMU.
Sure.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, bringing a place that had a death sentence at
Pretty
one
smart
point.
here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, nothing makes sense in college football anymore.
It feels a little chaotic right now.
I think Rutgers leaves the Big Ten
And no one would know.
and joins the Pac-12. Then we add Tulsa,
Of course.
and then round it out with Fresno State.
There you go.
That'll do it. You can.
I just
you know
fixed
what? I'm gonna
college
make
football.
I just fixed it.
I just totally fixed
no.
it.
You
Maybe
fixed.
you should be the next
Pac-12.
the new Pac-12 commissioner. Maybe
Yeah.
you should take over.
I would do a better job than the current person.
Well, you're right about that. Brady, do you have a question for Will Ferrell?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for this. I guess I asked you upstairs. You really didn't say.
Yeah.
Because I thought, you came here with the crew, you'd be rooting for Notre Dame coming to Ireland, or
No, of course not. No. I'm.
so never. There's no chance you can just.
Do you hate Notre Dame?
I wouldn't say hate. No, in fact, I would say the couple games I've been, the
say
Notre
it.
Dame fans,
So nice.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. That's probably
And
part of the problem, though, right? When they're
treated-
too nice.
no, they were
Okay.
great,
All
and
right.
you could talk football, and it made the rival. It was like, oh, this is a great rivalry. So I wouldn't say hate's a strong word, but go midshipman.
But the but the fan base
Yeah.
with Ohio State, as opposed to Notre Dame. Growing up in Ohio, like Herb Street ended up moving out of Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a serious fan base, whereas Notre Dame strikes me as like the St. Louis Cardinals. They were always a nice, friendly, root for you.
It's
fan
a
base.
different feel. I mean, clearly, anytime a university is attached to the Catholic Church, there's going to be that sort of portion of it. But I think what's awesome about college football and what makes it so special is it's more cultural. Like, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I know exactly what a lot of people right now who are Ohio State fans are dealing with, losing to Michigan 2 years in a row and then not even getting to play them during the COVID years. So it feels like it's been so long since you got that win. I grew up during the John Cooper era. Like, I remember what that was like. They had all these guys, first round talent, going to the NFL. All these teams were on the cusp, and they couldn't beat Michigan, or they suffered something in the bowl game. And I remember how miserable it was for Ohio State fans.
I know.
And that's a part of college football. They live and die by it. And so it's what makes the storylines of the game fun. And so look, the passion's there. It's awesome. And I never get upset when you people want to talk about like Ohio State fans being like I'm like, no, that's how it should be. They're passionate about their team, their fan base. Notre Dame fans are the same way. You might see it more on message boards because we're not all kind of centrally located in one state, but Notre Dame fans got the same passion too.
All right, let's play the Brady Quinn bench press game.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Todd, I'll start with you.
You have a bench press? Is that what we're doing again?
No, we don't have a bench.
Usually I come here and I have to do a physical activity every time I'm here.
Well, why don't you?
I mean, can we have a Guinness? I mean, can we have some sort of shot of Jameson?
Brady, but you and I are hitting the gym later, right?
Are we? Yeah.
I think so.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Why don't you two wrestle? Like, you want a physical activity. Will, would you wrestle Brady Quinn? Oh, okay. There you go. All right. Here we go.
Oh, dear.
So, about the same height. Will looks like he's wrestled before.
Are we doing Greco-Roman or what? What's the one where it's...
Oh, you want to get down on all fours, and then Brady,
I'm gonna
you have to. You're not going to hold on to him.
I'm gonna let him stand up.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they do that in mixed martial arts, right? They let you stand up.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, he's scrappy.
Yeah, he's.
I don't know where exactly to grab.
Don't mess with the hair.
Wow! I thought he grabbed
I was
below
almost
the
gonna
belt.
go
Wow.
forward.
Brady just picked up.
Brady,
Brady just picked up Will.
Brady just. He went below the belt, by the way, Will. Like, I'm going to take 2 points away from him. No, you grabbed it. You were crotch bound.
I was around the stomach.
Yeah, I think it was legal.
Dan, I think I would know.
I think it was all legal.
Okay, you're okay with that. You got a load of beef O'Brady right there. Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, from our angle, it looked like Will went too close to Brady's hair, and then it was go time.
Yeah, there's a few things.
I mean,
I can't blame him. Look at that. I mean, that's like
it's still hanging on.
That's like Tom Cruise, like hairdo.
It's a great head of hair.
I appreciate it.
Just take it. Just run with it.
Yeah. There aren't many compliments in this room this week. Just
I
let
was
you know.
gonna say, Fritzy's usually the one that compliments me on my hair. So
He's a very good-looking guy. There's a little man crush there. I was jealous of Will just now. I didn't get that wrestling opportunity.
That's too much.
Whoa. What the heck is going on?
I am you know what? I'm very comfortable in my masculinity to say that's a very handsome gentleman. And if I had an opportunity to wrestle with Brady Quinn, I probably would not pass that up.
It is a strange sensation to be 57 years old. No, am I 56?
Well, you're Hollywood. You lie about your age.
Yeah, right. It's a strange sensation to be a 42-year-old man and get picked up off the ground.
Yeah.
That was thrilling.
I do have a real question for him.
You're blushing like a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little.
Yeah, Brady.
What do we got coming out next as far as movies? Because obviously, I look at him as one.
Not allowed to talk.
Oh, we can't.
No. Screen actors.
Okay.
The strike.
Oh, that's right.
I'm enjoying my time in Dublin. It's a city rich in history.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that. Get in trouble.
Have you been out picketing?
Have you seen the Liffey River?
Will, you're 56.
I'm 56. Thank you.
Okay. We have to take a break. Brady, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you can hear Brady Monday through Friday, the show that precedes ours, Two Pros and a Cup of Joe, with LeVar Arrington.
Yep.
And Jonas.
Yes, sir. Jonas Knox.
Yes. Okay. All right. We'll take a break. We're back after this on the Dan Patrick Show.